You are in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right person. Hello, my beautiful human beings, partners, friends, colleagues. Hello to each and every single one of you. I hope that you are great wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Nothing but love and respect and peace and all of the great things for you. Welcome to another Pulse Check with Dr. Dale Laing-Hall. You are here. We are here every Wednesday from 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for on the last Wednesday of the month, we do a roundtable with amazing women, right? Having amazing workplace conversation and hot topics, right? So today we are going to go a little deep into unlocking emotional abundance, right? Which is the power of distribution. That's what we're going to talk about today. Yes, we're going to talk about the power of distribution through the power of emotional intelligence and how we can unlock our best emotional abundance. Yes, what does that mean? What does that mean? That means simple, simply put. We're going to start the conversation off today with a quote. And the quote is by this gentleman. He's an English author. His name is Thomas Troward. And if you guys, follow me, been following me for a minute, you know by now I love me some quotes. I eat it up. I love quotes. You guys know I'm always learning something. I'm always in some type of training. That's one of my core values, right? So I get quotes from people that I listen to, from books that I read, from things that I see online, from social media, from authors, from I listen to my friends, and my family members. They just throw some gems that I'm like, "Wait, say that again." Or I'm watching a movie and it has like a really nice phrase or a really nice quote or some words that are coming together really nice and it resonates with me. I write it down, right? And if anybody knows anything about me, I have everywhere I go and I deposit myself for a minute, I start putting stickers of quotes and words. And just looking at some of them in front of me right now, there's one that says, by Napoleon Hill, you will never have complete self control unless unless you exercise greater control over your emotions. I'm gonna leave that there with you guys because that's a whole vibe, right? Another one is, I am God's highest achievement. What are some of your quotes? I'm happy to hear. I would love to hear some of your quotes. Maybe I can add them to my wall. And even in my ebook that I have, it's on my website. It's free. I don't know why you wouldn't want to download it. It's free. At the end of my ebook, I have like 10, 15 quotes from people that I really love that resonated with me. That's for the workplace, that's for individuals, that's for professionals. Like, it's for you, it's for me, it's for all of us, right? And what quotes do, what phrases do, what books do, what trainings do is that they elevate us to a higher mindset or show us a peek into another world that connects with us, right? So today is no different. And today we're talking about Thomas Troward, who's an English author, and his works, yes, it's a little bit connected to Christianity, but he went a little bit further and he spoke about, kind of like, he got outside of the box and he put the box in another place. That's the best way I can describe it to you guys. So with that, I'm gonna like just share with you guys just some of the quotes that he has said that I thought was really, really cool, right? He said, having seen and felt the end, you have willed the means to the realization of the end. That was good. Belief in limitation is the one and only thing that causes limitation, meaning you're unlimited. So if the fact that you believe in that limitation, oh, you best believe it's gonna come true. It's like the other quote, I forgot who said it. What you say, whether you say you're gonna have it or not have it, it's true because you're saying it. And again, we already know by now that what we say is what we're gonna have, right? One of the other ones that I really love from him, it says, God will provide the food, but he will not cook the dinner. Don't you love that? I just love that. It is so true. Yeah, God may send someone to to give you some fruits and some vegetables and some yam to eat with that chicken. But sometimes he may send somebody to cook it for you. But he's not gonna cook the food. At some point, you're gonna have to either learn how to cook, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to figure out get somebody to show you how to cook. Something is gonna have to happen, but God is not gonna cook the food for you. You need to in other words, put in the work, right? You have to put some work behind your actions, your desires. I desire to have food one day, but how are you gonna get that food? God is saying, in essence is saying, you got to go and search for it, right? And the Bible says it. If you believe in the Bible, I do. It says seek, knock, ask, right? So that's how we're going to start today. So Thomas Troward said these words that we're going to kind of talk a little bit more about today, which leads us into the abundance, unlocking abundance today, right? And he said, we must look upon ourselves not as missers' chest to be kept locked for our own benefit, but as centers of distribution. And the better we fulfill our function as such centers, the greater will be the corresponding inflow. So these next 3 weeks in the month of May is going to break down this and kind of merge it with some emotional intelligence. You know that. You guys know this is what I'm about. Everything I see through the eyes of emotional intelligence. So that's what we're going to go with today, right? So the conversation is about this quote by Thomas Troward. And I'm going to repeat it again because it sounds so beautiful. We must look upon ourselves not as missers' chests to be kept locked for our own benefit, but as centers of distribution. And the better we fulfill our function as such centers, the greater will the corresponding inflow. And with that, I'm going to add the picture that I took this morning. So I went for a run at this park that's close by. And as I was running, I'm thinking about what I'm going to be talking about today, right? Because I thought about it a couple days ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, that picture looks so cool. That's perfect for our conversation today. So naturally, here I am. Here's a picture. I took it with my phone and I decided to upload it to kind of show you guys. Isn't it pretty? It is so pretty. So let's kind of go where this picture is with the quote with emotional intelligence, right? So if the conversation today is understanding emotional expression, and then the next couple of weeks we're going to deep dive on all of those different areas and whatnot, right? But today we're going to talk about exploring that concept of what he said. Our chest, consider the chest that he's talking about. So let's kind of go break down what this point is, right? He said, so let's imagine our emotions as treasures stored in a chest, right? So what is the quote again? Let's go back to the quote. The quote says, he says, We must look upon ourselves not as missers, chests to be kept locked away for our own benefit. So our emotions can be portrayed as that chest, right? So let's imagine our emotion as treasures stored away in this chest that we don't want anybody to know, right? We don't want anybody to share. We want to keep them to ourselves, right? Because these emotions can be either, if they know these, how you feel about a certain person, how you feel about a certain situation, how you feel about a certain project, how you feel about whatever, they may not talk to me no more. They may not want to be my friend anymore. They may get mad. They won't understand. They. The list goes on and on and on and on, right? That's why you're hoarding, right? And in case, for those that, in case you're wondering, what are missers? A misser, I'm saying misser, but it's misser is a miser. Let me see how Google is saying it.
Miser.
Yeah, it's
Miser.
Yeah, Google is saying it's miser. So a miser is a person who hoards wealth and spends little as much as little as possible, right? So you're hoarding your emotions and you're barely sharing them. You're barely letting people know how you feel. You are just keeping them to yourself, right? And that's what a miser. I said miser, same thing, right? It's spelled M-I-S-E-R, right? And it says, so you imagine, just like a treasure, just like treasures, emotions can be hidden away or shared with others. So Thomas Troward is saying we are not meant to be stored away. We ourselves are not meant to be hidden away or not shared. We are unlimited. We are meant to be expressed. How do you express you, right? That's where the intelligence side comes into play. How do we express you in the best way possible, right? As much as possible. So, we'll talk about how some people keep their emotions locked up, hidden away, like a secret stash, while others freely share them, like myself, freely share them, and it's not, sometimes sharing can be, you got to make to the right person. Are you sharing it with the right person, right? Are you sharing it in the right way? Are you sharing it at the right time? You see what I mean? There's so many components to this, right? You can really, yeah, at least I told you how I felt, right? You can be in a relationship, or you can be talking to your whatever relationship, friends, mom, dad, whatever, husband, boyfriend, and you're like, at least I told you how I felt. Yeah, but I'm in the middle of a meeting at work and everybody heard what you said because you didn't tell me. You just called me and I just answered because I thought it was an emergency. You didn't allow me to tell you my situation. See, the timing was off. You shared your emotions, expressed how you felt, but how you shared it, the timing, when, and make sure it's the right person, right? So there's a lot of components to this. There's a lot of different levels. So unlocking your emotional abundance is first realizing that you are meant to be expressed. You are meant to open up and share who you are. So let's do an example, right? Let's kind of go a little far with this as much as we can. If you have, let's say for example, you're feeling a certain type of way about whatever situation. You feel, let's go with happiness. You feel happy, you know, a friend of yours is getting married and you are genuinely happy and excited for them, right? How do you express that? first you have to acknowledge how you feel about the situation. Or, I'm not gonna, we can put this in any category. How do you express how you feel about that situation to that person? If that your friend of yours is getting married to the person that they love, and you're happy for them, she's happy, they're happy, you're happy for them, right? How do you express that? One, you realize first, oh, I'm happy for you, but what if it was the boy that you liked? What if it was the guy that you loved? You secretly was in love with him, or whatever the situation is, and she's telling you now, I got a ring, we're getting married, right? How do you express how you feel? You didn't all this time, missed opportunities, you could have said something. I don't know what would have changed the situation, you don't know, but because you didn't say anything, here we are, we're in the present, and she's getting married to the guy that you love, right? So is it fair to you to bring that up now? I don't know. You have to kind of evaluate your relationship with her, right? You have to see, what's the point. The first question I would ask, what would be your point in telling her how you feel about the guy that she is in love with and that is in love with her, now that you know that she's getting married, right? So timing is kind of off, right? So depending on your relationship and your setup, you have to evaluate if that is something that you want to. At least she will know, Dr. Dale. At least she'll know. Yeah, but you could have told her years ago. You could have told her months ago. Why now? Is not fair to her, right? So I'm just kind of giving you like a scenario, right? So what if it didn't, what if, both of you guys met the guy at the right, at the same time, same party and everything, and both of you guys liked them, right? And she didn't know that you liked them, but she's expressing to you that you're keeping your feelings bottled up, but she's telling you, yeah, I'm gonna die, and I like him, and we're gonna go out on a date, and you're like, I kind of like him too. You do? Oh my goodness. Da, 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 da. The conversation now, it's out there, right? You expressed it because you diagnosed, for the lack of a better word, you analyzed your feelings about whatever particular situation. And you can put this same category, this same conversation, because you're having a conversation in your head, right? You're having a conversation in your head, but you're not saying it, right? That's what we do, right? We talk about these things, but we don't express ourselves. So what happens? We hold ourselves down, we bottle it up, and we just put it in a chest, right? To Thomas Troward's point, and we just lock it away, and then you wait until it bursts. One day you just can't take it no more, right? You just can't take it no more. And what happens? It comes out at the wrong place, wrong time, wrong way, and all of the things are wrong, right? At least you got it out. Yeah. Emotional intelligence say, yeah, let's kind of analyze how we feel ahead of time. And now that we know how we feel, let's develop a strategy how to express that in a healthy way where it's not going to cause you any harm and the other person. You're just making them aware. You see what I'm saying? So the example I can give you guys is a ball. You go into a beach, you go to the beach and you take these balls with you and you put them in the water, and you're like, your kids are playing with the ball, and every single time, what happens? You try to put that ball on the water. What happens? You're like laying on it. You have to lay all of your body on the ball in order for the ball to stay down in the water, right? What happens when you get off the ball? It pops back up. You try to go back now, pops back up, right? That's your emotion. You can only hide your true feelings and emotions for so long. about a particular person, a particular situation, a particular issue or project, it's going to eat you up. It's going to eat you up. I know that because I've been there, and I'm there almost every day because life is life, right? And emotional intelligence says first things first. Acknowledge how you feel about any particular situation, any particular person. That's what emotional intelligence is. First things first, acknowledge how you feel. Be real with yourself. This is, emotional intelligence is not for the weak of heart. People think, oh, that's weak stuff. Emotions are weak stuff. It's the strongest, most powerful stance you can take. There is an unknown author, don't ask me who said it. He says, of all the knowledge you will attain in life, knowing yourself is the greatest achievement. How do you get to know yourself? Acknowledging what are your weaknesses? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? What are your strengths? Where you want to go? No, you don't want to go there. Oh, you don't like that kind of vibe. Oh, okay. How do you get there? How do you get to those kinds of questions? Very first thing, sitting with yourself. Introspection. What is introspection? Sitting down, and I'm gonna give you guys like a really nice visual, right? Sitting down on a grass, and in front of you, sitting down, crossing your legs, just sitting down and just being present with the water in the lake in front of you, the grass, the wind blowing, and you just being completely present in that moment, and you're thinking about you. Hey, I don't like I don't like when people yell at me. This is me. This is how what you I don't like when people curse at me. Why don't I like that? Oh, because I remember growing up. That's something my parents used to do, and it gave me anxiety. I don't like that. You see, in order, you have to get there, because not everybody gets there. We've been, all our lives, we've been denied not being, be seen and not heard, and expressing ourselves as kids and all this stuff. There's so much that comes along with that, but you have to acknowledge that you need to express yourself. And the first emotional intelligence step you can take is to listen to yourself and go in. Introspection, right? And then when that happens, now you can come back and say, I don't think I'm going to be a part of this group anymore. I think it served me for a time, and I am grateful for all that you guys have done for me. But I think from here on out, I'm going to move into this group, or I'm going to just be on my own for a little bit so I can spend some time with myself. You see? You kind of move yourself out of that group, out of that situation, out of that whatever right, relationship, and you didn't hurt nobody in the process. Instead of the other version of that is like, you know what, I'm done with you guys. You guys are crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Half the time you guys are all over the place. You guys are not consistent, and you guys don't know what you see how you're you making them the problem. You're making it all about them. You're simply saying how I expressed it originally. This is not for me right now. And who knows, maybe I'll come back later, but right at this point in time in my life, I need this, or that. And at this point in time, I'm not getting that from this group. So maybe later on, I'll come back to you guys. You see what I'm saying? You kind of said it in a loving way, and you didn't kind of point no fingers and made them feel bad for whatever, right? You didn't make it about them. You made it about you, because it is all about you. It is all about you. It's all about you, but at the same time, it's not all about you, right? So that's the essence of the conversation today. It's acknowledging self-awareness, and that's the very first step of emotional intelligence. Self-awareness, acknowledging who you are, what you are, where you want to be, what's for you and what's not for you, right? And it's very important for you to acknowledge that. Without it, you don't know who you are. You don't know what you want. You don't know what's next. You don't know you don't know what direction you want to go in. And what ends up happening, you're either following the crowd, doing what everybody else does, you accept what they want for you, and you are not showing up for yourself. So what happens? Again, my mom's when you don't when you allow someone to make decisions for you, when they make it, you're not gonna be happy. I guarantee you're not gonna be happy. Unless they're, your friends and they really love you, and and they're, coming from a good place, and it's, something minor, right? But half the time, more than ways than none, you are not going to be happy with what other people decide for you, what your husband decide for you, what your boyfriend decide for you, what your family decides for you. You have to make sure that you're in line with that decision, because if you don't make sure that you're in line with that decision when the decision is made, it is done. It is done. So that's the very first part of that quote that we ate up today, that our emotions and who we are meant to be expressed. And how we express that is by first realizing how we feel in whatever given situation, whatever given issue, scenario, person, whatever it is, whatever it looks like. And then when you realize that, then okay, move into that, move in that direction, and move as such. And when you move in that direction, then the first thing you're doing is, one, not denying yourself anymore. And that is the best feeling. It is such a great journey to be on. This journey is self-discovery, personal development. That's what it's all about. Practice. So here's another tip for you guys. One, apart from acknowledging how you feel, practice emotional journaling. What is that? Take a few minutes each day. When you wake up, before you go to bed, twice a day, write down your feelings and your thoughts, whatever they are. And just write. Just write how you feel. I feel like this, I feel like that, and then slowly start sneaking in there. I'm grateful that this day ended. I'm grateful that I have a job. I'm grateful for my family. I am grateful for water, and for just being there in that moment, writing it down. You don't have to write forever. Just write for a few minutes. 5 minutes, write it down, write down your thoughts. This can help you become more aware of your emotions and how they affect you, because your emotions affect you, right? So we got 2 more minutes. That's the conversation today, you guys. And it starts with this tree. And this tree, when you look at it, kind of want to end with this tree, right? Looking at this tree, which is why I said your emotions and you are meant to be expressed in a healthy way from an emotional intelligence standpoint, right? And it says, look at the trunk of this tree. Look how strong it is. Look at the roots. It starts deep into the ground, right? And it spread itself out so that way it can be stronger, right? And then it starts slowly just having these branches that come out, and then the branches, and then the leaves, and then all the green and all this stuff start happening. But if you look at the branches, one branch starts here and the other one there. And then because you climb, I helped you climb. Now, yeah, you helped me climb, and then you help me, and then bam, what happened? I help you. And so it constantly keeps going, right? Because again, we are unlimited beings, right? We are not limited in any type of way. So those branches build off of each other. We are meant to do the same as human beings, building off of each other. The information and what helps you and what has been powerful for you, you're meant to share it. Emotional intelligence has saved my life in all the ways, right? From a professional standpoint to a personal standpoint, which is why I decided to study it when I did my doctorate. And I wanted to make sure that other people saw this tool as life-saving because it saved me, right? So that's what this conversation about. That's what my zone of genius is, right? And that's what this tree is to remind us to build, to grow, to be unlimited. Because as you see, because those branches are able to grow and flourish on top of each other, there it becomes wider, stronger, higher, right? And it only could do that because of the support system that it has. So, another food for thought, analyze, review your support systems. Who are the people that are supporting you, right? Who are the people that are supporting you? So, as usual, we're going to end this conversation with, you know, that feeling you get when everything in the world seems right. You don't have to worry about anything. Everybody and everything is in the right place at the right time. You feel safe. You're filled with joy. That feeling is called love. And I challenge you to go give that to everybody that you are in connection with. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Post Check with Dr. Dale.